some English words and their origin. Derrick, Derrick. Derrick. Our modern hoisting apparatus was named Derrick because of its likeness to a gallows. At the beginning of the 17th century, there was a famous hangman at Tyburn prison by the name of Derrick, whose name was soon applied to the gallows that he used. There is an illustrative quotation from a contemporary book by Thomas Dekker. Says this author, the thief that dies at Tyburn is not half so dangerous as the politician. I would there were a Derrick to have him too. Fahrenheit. Most inventions are the products of many minds. Galileo, for example, and Sir Isaac Newton had toyed with thermometers and had made some progress with the use of water and alcohol. But it remained for a humble manufacturer of meteorological instruments to build the first mercurial thermometer that made it is a simple matter to spot and record temperature changes. In the early years of the 18th century, Gabriel David Fahrenheit invented the scale that is widely used today and that bears his name. Fahrenheit was a German, but strangely, the Germans used the centigrade thermometer, calling it Celsius after its Swedish inventor. Frankenstein. Frankenstein was a character in a novel by Mary Shelley, freethinker wife of the British poet. The author pictured Frankenstein in her story as a student who constructed a monster out of material that he stole from the dissecting laboratory and the graveyard. This monster had a certain humanity, but he was too horrible to be accepted by other human beings. He was so enraged by this that he turned on Frankenstein, his creator, in savage revenge and killed him. Thus, the name of the student became the symbolic name for one who is destroyed by his own works, but largely through the movies. The name Frankenstein has now come to be attached to the monster instead of to his creator. Gargantum. If we remark upon a man's gargantuan appetite, we mean that it is enormous. The word came from Gargantua, the noisy, voracious giant, who was the hero of Rabelais' work La Vie Tres Horrifique du Grand Gargantua, which was published in 1534. Before this time, Gargantua had been known as a kindly giant in French folklore, but the huge prince with appetite and vocal cords to match his size is primarily a creation of the philosopher and satirist Rabelais. Galvanic. Back in 1791, After 20 years of research, Luigi Galvani of Bologna published a study of animal electricity. In this, he recounted all his experiments from the very beginning. He told how he had suspended frogs from an iron rail, watched their legs twitch, and puzzled about it. He recorded as his conclusion that the motion of the frogs was due to union of the exterior or negative charge of electricity with the interior or positive charge. Hence, from his time, galvanic came the French noun galvanism and our word galvanic that refers to electricity produced by chemical action. Gordian knot. When we say he cut the Gordian knot, we mean that this person has solved an intricate problem by using bold and drastic means. It all comes from Gordius, king of Gordium in Phrygia, who once tied an extremely intricate knot on his chariot. Upon this, a local oracle prophesied that whoever undid the knot would rule Asia. When Alexander the Great was faced with this nonsense, he settled it by slashing through the knot with his sword. Thus, King Gordius gave us our word and phrase. Guy. When one person says of another, what a guy, it does not always mean that a compliment, and this can be explained by the history of the word. On November 5th in the year 1605, the famous gunpowder plot was perpetrated as a protest against the sharp enforcement of the anti Catholic laws of King James I. The anniversary of this cabal is celebrated each year in England and is called Guy Fawkes Day in memory of the chief character in the drama. This fellow Fawkes took a house adjoining the House of Parliament in London, tunneled through to the cellar, and concealed a nice fat charge of gunpowder in the coal bin. Unfortunately for the leader, one of his conspirators warned a certain Lord Monteagle by letter to stay away from a meeting at the house on the day set for explosion. This led to the discovery of the plot, and Guy Fawkes was tortured and hanged. On this day, it is customary in England to dress up like Americans do on Halloween and to carry an effigy of Fawkes through the streets and then to burn it. So, a guy became a perpetrator or a person of grotesque appearance like the effigy. Although in America the word guy can be used more innocently and often merely stands as a synonym for an individual, that is, just a fellow. Hobson's choice. Hobson gave no one any choice at all. That is the real meaning of the phrase. Thomas Hobson was the owner of a livery stable in 17th century England. He loved his horses and made a great fetish of seeing to it that each horse was hired in turn. A customer who didn't happen to care for the animal that was offered him was forced to accept or do without his ride for the day. If someone then should offer you Hobson's choice, it means that you must accept the thing offered or settle for nothing at all. Laconic. A number of English words are derived from the characteristics of the people of certain places. A laconic man is a person of few words. He is blunt and brief in what he has to say. Now, the Laconians of Greece were a race that had this very characteristic. They inhabited the district of which Sparta was the capital, and they were noted for their concise and pithy speech. Once, when an Athenian herald told them, "If we come to your city, we will rage it to the ground," the Laconians merely answered, "If." Thus, the name Laconia contributed to us our word laconic. Thank you for listening.